my near every bar around. I've been locked up for driving 120 through town. I've been shot at and cut with a knife, messing around with another man's wife. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Threw my boss out the window and got fired for my last job. Hot-wired a city truck and turned it over in the mayor's yard. Beat my brother-in-law half to death. Lost $20 on his football bet. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Good old boys, we're all the same. Ain't no way we'll ever change.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Ash, Brent, Commander, we're all here on a Friday. Woohoo! Friday!
You quoting BJ Nelson? Woohoo!
I guess I did, yeah.
You did. Good morning, Ms. Nelson.
She's very quotable.
She is very quotable.
Judge Posey, Greg Garcia, Ricky King on the podium this morning.
Followed by Mark Kurtz. 4 men in a row. 4 good men in a row.
Jordan Glass. Then Lisa Poole
5
comes in.
men.
Lisa straight out of the freezer at Paravita Wellness.
Yeah, Paravita today's a great day to get in and get half off on everything that's still in their cold cases. Right there, airline in Laurent.
It's so cold in here.
East Saint Laurent. They named it after, I don't know where Polo Boulevard
The
is.
French fashion designer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerlam Hayfeed and Ranch Services. Stop on
77 to
by
90
today.
something. Yeah, tell them what's going on at Deerlam.
Hummingbirds are back, so they've got all your hummingbird feeders. They've got the nectar that you need. One thing I learned, because I saw something pop up on Facebooks or one of the social medias the other day on my YouTubes, and do not put red dye in your hummingbird nectar.
Why?
I don't know why. It didn't explain that.
Because
Just said, don't do
RFK
it.
Jr. said, stop that. No more. Can you
It's
imagine?
giving hummingbirds ADHD like they
He would
need
have
it.
that thing. He'd be like, what? Red dye. I said him more like Bill Cosby there. 73 degrees in Victoria under clear skies, heading to a high of 93. It's a great, great day for high school football. I will report to you on Monday after being at a home game if our West Warriors, Band of Warriors, shows a little more energy tonight. I know for a fact that our comments resonated through the administrative building, and we'll see if
And
it's
with band
bird.
parents. Band parents seem to think that we were attacking the kids.
No chance. And by the way, I want to give you a pass on this. You didn't attack anybody.
No, because I wasn't there.
Right. And it was firsthand observation-based journalism, if you will. And all I was saying has been said. It's, it's all good.
Yeah.
The kids did great. But Cody, when you've got the same kids, the same equipment, and one band's clearly more exciting than the other, and you've got 100 kids up there.
Isn't that capitalism? Outcomes aren't the same.
That's right. Opportunities
Opportunity
are
is.
the same, which means the CEO of the band didn't quite get it done.
I'm staying out of this. I'm scared of band moms.
I am not. There you have it. I can, and band dads, they're all kind of on the side.
They're too busy hauling all
Band
the
dads are
equipment.
fine. Band moms are
Yeah.
scary.
I don't know any band dads. There are lots of band
Like
moms.
dance moms.
Typically, they're married to the band moms,
In
although
theory.
not always.
Not always. They
They
may
were-
have
they
gotten
were.
out. Pete Strauss is in. Scott Tomko,
Heather Stewart,
Heather Stewart, great school teacher, great person.
BJ Nelson, Tammy
Tammy
Keeling,
Keeling.
Junior Samples, Jackie Parsons, Linda Christ, Matt
Jackie
Boucher,
P.
Mark Zapata.
Jackie,
Whoa.
you'll be proud. You weren't there, but I got that Balin. I got it down. It is on. If you haven't done it, this is a good weekend to do it. Get by Deerland Feed. Just go in and say, I need that weed killer thing that Wade and Carter talk about. You don't have to know what you
No.
want. They can read your mind at Deerland Feed.
Is it expensive for like a
It's-
big yard?
No,
I
I,
think
don't
that might
think so.
stop people.
I mean, no. I think I bought a bag. I mean, I'm arguably like a third of an acre, and is that a yard? I mean, And we're in Texas. I got 25 acres. That's a big yard.
Sure.
You know, but you put it in a broadcast spreader. I call it a Scott's, that green
The
plastic.
drop spreader.
Yeah, and it's easy. It's
How'd
easy
that
to
go?
put out. And you go out there and you throw that stuff down.
Radio theater of the mind, so you need the sound effects sometimes.
It is unbelievable to me. My neighbor does a great job on his yard. A great job on his yard. And you can just turn on my cul-de-sac.
And your yard is way better.
It just is.
His yard would be the best yard on the block
if
you
he
weren't next to
used
him.
the 21-7-14 and the Balin.
Yeah.
So how many
much.
bags do you use?
Oh, I use one bag, a half a bag of an application.
Oh, okay.
It's
So
probably
somebody's
$40.
not spending thousands
Jackie
of
will
dollars.
tell us. No.
No.
I just
way
wanted
near
to
that.
take the fear away from our listeners.
It's for the do-it-yourselfer who says I can do this. And Matt Boucher honestly gave me the comfort level. You know that, and you folks know that first time that you jumped off into your computer, Cody laughs at me because like I don't want to hit the menu button, because like I'm scared that I'm gonna like freak my computer out. The first time I really got into the soil and started learning what it takes to make your yard look good was scary. I mean, it was. And Matt said, no, you can do it. If you mess it up, we'll buy another plant. And the next thing you know, I mean, people come by my house to say, wow, man, your yard looks great. And I always just say, Deerland Feed and Matt Boucher. It's all you need. And you can still reach out to Matt. Don't let him kid you. He's retired. It just means he doesn't get paid for what he does.
He doesn't have to return your calls.
Yeah, he doesn't have to return your calls. He just does.
Mark Zapata, good morning. Monty Howard, Zed Stewart, Adam Daughtry.
Bill Booker, good morning,
Adam
buddy.
Daughtry, I believe, on the Planning Commission now.
Hey, congratulations,
Good for
Adam.
you, sir. He's been wanting to serve for a while.
He has.
David Ballard, good morning.
Hey, bro.
Stephanie Conti, Scott Snow, Justin Glass.
Aside from my three kids, David Ballard is the best part of my first marriage.
There you go.
Yeah. I still refer to him as my brother-in-law.
Bill Buckert saying prayer vigil at Patriot Park tomorrow, 6:30 p.m., honoring Charlie Kirk, praying for our country. All invited. Thank you, Bill,
Amen.
for that. John Paul Hall says it would be better if Brent was in a band uniform today.
I'll tell you what, I'll tell you, JP, I'm going to go a step further. It would be better if our band wasn't in a band uniform tonight. Tell them to wear something fun. Tell them to show. Band uniforms suck.
I'm sure they've got band polos they could wear.
They should show
With
up in
black
shorts.
shorts.
Absolutely.
Jorts even.
Who cares? Be comfortable.
Funky Trey Molina, Brian Small.
Brian Small says that Donald Trump just says the guy that shot Charlie Kirk is in
Goodness,
custody.
I thought the manhunt was still underway. Good morning, Marina.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Sherry Jacobs, Micah Patton, Andrew Alvarez. Man, the list is long this morning. Justin Swatowski.
Great
glad
group
you're all
of
here.
folks. Great.
So let me try to stall for a minute. I'll try to find that.
By the way, very excited. We're going to be joined here in studio in a little while with our Congressman, Michael Cloud. We had a conversation yesterday, and he said he had time to come by, and we're very excited, always eager to have the Congressman with us.
Can we get him on like a lockdown where he can only come talk to us?
No, I think
As a congressman, I don't think we can have exclusivity
No,
with that. But
that guy.
yeah, I'm
Did
gonna
you
I'm
see
gonna,
that
I'm gonna-
video?
Yeah, I'm gonna share that with.
Hey, Tommy
here.
Kingston, Beverly Wood, Honey and Fishing. Tell me, you know the name better than I do. The
Beverly Woods Hunting and Fishing
Foundation.
for Kids
Foundation.
Yep.
At any rate, Tommy Kingston helping kids.
Yeah,
hunt.
this is
Awesome.
from CNN. It's a loop, but you can see the man video showing.
He's got
the man
look, he's
jumping
all
off.
dressed in black. Dude, that's a
Yeah.
professional hitman right there.
Well, here's the thing, and this is I haven't really heard anybody talk about this, so I think Fox and Friends Jr. says they're reporting that he's in custody. I just looked for that. Didn't see anything. So
Do you agree that saying that he's a professional hitman is not a show, Beverly Woods Fishing and Hunting with Kids Foundation. You do a
I was
great
close.
job.
I had a
Tommy K.
4 instead of the with. So.
Tommy, we're putting the softball team back together. Got Craig Logger, going to throw him out there in right field. Told John Bynum he could play first. Be thinking about it. It's everybody's over 60. I'm not sure that any of us has the reflexes left to pitch. Maybe we can get a machine. Tommy says, I'm in. I know you'd be in, brother.
So,
but we were going to, you pointed out that the Will Cow Majority, which is a big time show, it's on Breitbart. Will Cow had the same thing happen. And the other morning, I'm flattered that we're all at the same level of ineptness, because the other day, Mike Slater was saying, oh, I can't get that to play. I'm trying really hard, folks. It's a good cut, but I can't get it to play. And that's frustrating. They, yeah, that's that guy.
There we go.
I think
Donald
we
Trump,
have him.
BBC. The funny thing is, the BBC is where I found this morning. The first one up. I think we have him. Trump tells Fox News after the manhunt for the Charlie Kirk killer.
I don't understand.
Somebody very close to him turned him in, according to Donald Trump.
How do you not have, in this day and age, after someone took a shot at the president and killed 2 attendees in Pennsylvania? Wasn't it Pennsylvania? Wasn't it Butler, Pennsylvania? How do you not have an eye in the sky? How do you not have a helicopter?
He's not the president.
That's true.
And think about the cost of that.
True story.
But here's the thing nobody's really talked about with this. This wasn't just some random guy on a rooftop. He had to have been doing a lot of recognizance, knowing where Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to get into conspiracy theory territory here, because Charlie Kirk announces he's going to go to Utah Valley University, right? Unless this guy, and I bet you it wasn't just, I could be wrong here because I haven't done enough of this. Somebody on the inside told this guy where Charlie Kirk was going to set up. And then he went and staked out the rooftop of that building, probably used Google Images to find somewhere that would be close, but then had to gain access to that building and the rooftop so he could see what he was dealing with.
Dressed in black, carrying a gun without being seen.
So that he could jump off the building without breaking a leg.
I couldn't
get
jump
away.
off that chair over there.
You
that guy jumped off 2 stories. He kind of hung by one arm and then dropped down. Linda Chris says a preacher turned him in.
Pete Strauss says for $100,000 reward, I'd turn you to.
Yeah. Thanks, Pete.
Yeah.
Pete Strauss. He's always there for us.
So
I wouldn't blame him. $100,000.
I think as this thing unfolds, you're going to find out that there were some folks at the University of Utah, Utah Valley University, that played a role in this because they knew where Charlie Kirk was going to set up, and they told this guy where he was going to set up.
Yeah.
Allowed him. I mean, I don't know. But I've worked in enough high rises. You can't just get to the roof of a building anymore. It's not like Die Hard.
Scott Tomko
access roofs of buildings.
Tomko says, I can't jump off my tailgate. Andrew Alvarez says the shooter waited for the Second Amendment talk before he shot. I'll get to that in a second. Greg Garcia says there's actually video of 2 guys standing behind Charlie.
No, that's garbage.
Has that been debunked?
Yes.
Let me tell you, one of them,
they're long-term security guys
for him.
For him.
One guy reached up and touched his cap, and at that moment, the other guy put his arm out and then did like this. And I don't know if he was telling another security person, move to your right.
And it's not American Sign Language either. So that's
I don't know.
If he's got something in his ear, it makes perfect sense. He touched his ear.
Well, this guy touched
watch the kids. Watch, but he also touched his ear.
So here's the deal.
Watch the people on stage sing at church every Saturday with an Sunday with an earpiece in. They're always playing with it.
I like the way you throw that every Sunday in there. It's very Baptist.
because
I'm there every Sunday.
They sing every Sunday. I didn't say
I'm there every Sunday. I can't lose my salvation. But I want to make
watch
sure I'm
the
there.
people that sing at church every Sunday. I didn't say I was.
Oh, that's solid. I will tell you though, it makes sense to at least figure out who those people were and what they were doing. And so now that you've solved that problem, source, give me your source. Give me the source.
My source is my common sense in my
There you
head
go.
on that.
There you
one.
go. That's why you have a radio show.
Tammy Williams says, follow the money. He was going to be our future VP, and they were scared. I think they were more scared of the effect he was having on college campuses.
Which, by the way, has been exponentially just blown up. I have a cut that Ash is going to play for you that actually disgusts me. The left is doomed. The idea, you can't imagine how much good is ultimately going to come out of
these
this.
are the people that are voting.
Yeah, but here's the deal: you're going to see a polarizing of our youth, and it hit right there in my own living room when my 17-year-old, who I told you never talks about politics, Dad, did you see what happened to Charlie Kirk? That's terrible. My 26 almost year old son Kyle called and said, man, did you see what happened to Charlie Kirk? That's terrible. So 17, 25.
My 85-year-old father called and goes, who was this Charlie Kirk guy?
Right. No kidding. But that's the deal, right? Your dad's
but he's in Canada, and he's not on the internet, but he
Democrat.
But you can't share.
Your dad's in Canada, so he has to vote for the Democrats. That's just part of it.
Listen to this.
Listen to this if we can play it.
This is a streeter from Breaking Battleground.
And we'll give you the details in a minute.
Charlie Kirk got shot and killed. How do you feel?
Happy. Goodbye.
Wow. Did you see that Charlie Kirk just got shot and killed?
That's good.
Wow. That's good. That's good that people are getting shot just off a political view. The people are dying in America.
Did you see that Charlie Kirk got shot and killed today?
Yes, I did.
How do you feel about that?
I don't really have any feelings about it. Who are you?
Charlie Kirk got shot and killed today. We're just getting people's opinions. How do you feel about that?
Girl, someone had to do it. And that's how I feel at this point in time. But
yeah, I appreciate your honesty. I truly do. So you said someone had to do it.
Yes. Try not to get all pulled up into that, but he was a misogynist. He was a disgusting person with disgusting beliefs.
So if you had a magical wand, a magical button that you could press and keep him from being assassinated, would you press that?
No. I think things happen for a purpose. And if that's how his life was ended, then that's how it was ended. So
I want to, before Ash gives you the details on this, I want to report that video was all taken at my university, the University of Texas at Austin, and it's disgusting and shameful. And yet Ash has some background on that.
Well, in the business, that's what we call a streeter, man on the street reporting, asking people questions. And unless live, they were edited. But ethically, the way we were taught to do these was you not just ask people, you either did it there and you took a tab of, because typically it's they were more not feelings questions like this. It was, how do you feel, what's your stance on this? Or are you for this? Yes or no? And your edited version of that would try to reflect the ratio of the way people answered the question. So in this case, two things could have happened here. So let's say you ask a question and it's a 50-50 answer split. You would get, if you showed 10 people answering the question, 5 of them would say A, 5 of them would say nay, right? In this case, but here's the thing. I don't necessarily know that media is that ethical anymore on all sides. But if this were a true reflection of everybody he asked the question to,
which it wasn't.
Everybody he asked the question to felt that Charlie Kirk deserved to die.
Right. And that's not what we know. That's not the case. I mean, just based on just sheer mathematics, somebody had to say it's terrible. No human life should be lost over your opinion. The common sense answers. I think,
But in today's where you want clicks and to generate traffic and debate, I'm like you. What was the first thing I asked? There's no way this is reflective of everybody he asked the question,
Right.
because everybody's in the affirmative. I wanted Charlie Kirk dead.
I don't understand. And this is a great example of why our youth should be silenced. I mean, these are college age kids, and we really trust them to make decisions that affect the world.
They want people dead because they espoused opinions. And the one girl, well, he was a misogynist. He probably's never watched a Charlie Kirk video. She's just spouting left-wing leftist media propaganda tropes that they've put out describing who Charlie Kirk is because they don't like Charlie Kirk.
I don't know how you get, you start thinking about people that divide. I mean, why does nobody take a shot ever at Bernie Sanders, AOC, Cam the Slam, or Jasmine Crockett? I mean, we're Texas rednecks. We're heavily armed. No Texan has taken a shot at Jasmine Crockett. The right is not lunatic. Even if our politics are incorrect.
Well, they did kill 2 Minnesota senators or governors or state reps up in earlier this summer. Remember?
Is that right? Some extremist idiot.
Yeah.
But in general, am I wrong? I mean, if I'm wrong,
I don't think you're wrong. I think most of the shootings lately have seemed to be leftists.
Well, yeah, and
they shot Steve Scalise playing softball, for crying out loud.
So Scalise has been shot. They shoot at the president. They more than once. They shoot at Charlie Kirk. They killed the kids out in front of the one of the monuments there in D.C. It's the left is unhinged. I'm just telling you, this is going to come to a head, and it is not going to go well for the left. It is not. I mean, in the voting booth and in the streets, it ain't going to go well.
The fact that our youth, and they're not even our youth, these are young adults on the UT campus. The fact that there are young adults in this country that wished and had no remorse for somebody dying.
Right.
Simply because of things they espoused. These people should not be leading anything.
No, that's right.
And they probably won't be.
And said that the folks in Minnesota were shot by a Democrat. Patrick Strauss adds, George Floyd dies and cities burn. Charlie dies and we hold vigils. There is a difference between the left and the right. There's no getting around it. By the way, Charlie Kirk, much more important than George Floyd. And I'm not talking about a life for a life. I'm talking about a solid Christian family guy trying to make things better versus a false 20 crackhead habitual criminal who has a heart attack while under the knee of an abusive police officer.
JD Vance helping to carry Charlie's casket off the plane yesterday. His wife walking off with Mrs. Vance.
Eric. Apparently they were
close friends.
They were friends. You know.
So let's see if we can. Well, let's take a break real quick, and then we'll try and see if we can't find out a little bit more on what's going on with Charlie Kirk and the shooter.
There you go.
Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. I think we're leaving the last week of the month, probably the 25th, Thursday. Sounds good.
Thursday?
Let's put it in writing.
Thursday the 25th?
Yeah, sure. Why not? You have anything?
I'm looking at the calendar as we speak, and I would say that's probably good. That's my daughter's birthday, but
she won't be here, right? Won't be here.
Venmo her $50 and go to Palace Bingo. How about that?
Win it back,
right? Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. Be there. USA Concrete Coatings, 578 Home. Reach out to Charlie Garcia and his team. Charlie, the singing cowboy, a huge Cowboys fan. You want to put down a tough as nails polyurethane coat in your garage and have the Cowboys logo, he can do it. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Let Allen help you in the unfortunate event you need a tow. You have a fender bender, a car that won't go. Also, if you need a jump start, you can reach out to Allen's Wrecker Service. Veracruz Restaurant, Friday. That steak, you'll love it. It's the best. They have the best. It's the gravy, Ash. It's the gravy that makes it so good. Get into Veracruz today. I'll be there 11:30 this morning. I will be at Veracruz. Shopping block, you want to cook it yourself? $16.99 a pound Angus ribeyes. They've got hamburger meat. They make all these cool little chicken poppers and things that if you go in there, you're going to go, well, I've never had bacon wrapped asparagus, but I'm going to throw that on the grill because it looks great.
And
Cook a steak, it is great. Cook a steak, have a ball. White Trash Services. BJ Nelson, Scott Nelson.
All the Nelsons.
All the Nelsons. Ozzy, Harriet, they're all there. Direct descendants, Ricky Nelson. Scott was the better looking brother.
To a garden party.
There you go. That was during his heroin era when his hair was almost as long as yours. Get by and let White Trash Services help you with all of your garbage needs. If you're in the counties, if you need a roll-off dumpster, if you need a small structure destroyed, demolished, and hauled off, always think of 550-1826. So we're back. We're trying to rumble through some things.
So looking at the pictures that they released of the suspect that they were looking for in
The
Charlie
white
Kirk's
kid.
assassination, white kid, black,
Smarmy.
long sleeve T-shirt, does not appear to be carrying a rifle in any of these pictures. I'm wondering, was it in the backpack and he put it together?
I don't
Or had he
know.
already
You'll notice
gotten it
he's
there?
going up the stairs
Yeah.
in these pictures. He may have already deposited the weapon up there earlier.
So anyway, apparently Fox News with the president on there today said they have caught him.
You always have to be careful with this, right? Like we want to go, yeah, we got him. Well, they did that with Lee Harvey Oswald, and you just got to be careful. You got to make sure you actually have the right person.
Police have arrested a suspect in the assassination of Charlie Kirk on a Utah college campus earlier this week, according to FoxNews.com. And that's really it. The rest of it is just a recap of everything we already know. And that they recovered a high-powered bolt-action rifle along the escape route that they believe the suspect used. They found a palm print, a footprint, and an imprint from a forearm somewhere.
Now, if they've got that and it matches that guy, then string him up.
Yeah, I mean, you could put random, or you could put reasonable doubt into the head of a footprint if the guy's wearing a pair of popular Nike shoes, right?
Right, sure.
Everybody has those, but
I think I did that.
But the palm print, yeah, I would think that'd be
palm print's pretty exclusive.
I would think so. 7,000 tips came in to police in Utah apparently after they started circulating the pictures of this guy. So, yeah.
What do we have here? Read some of our comments. We have so many great listeners.
Jared McCrugan says in video his gait was stiff leg, thought the parts were in his pant leg. Okay. No, I hadn't seen that.
See that? So they show him, Patrick Strauss does that too. They show him walking on campus, and he looks like he had it in his pants. He was a really thin kid, so there was room in there.
And he looks young.
Yeah, he did. He's young.
Follow Your Heart says sounds like a JFK assassination all over again. To find the shooter that fast, screams Patsy.
I don't disagree. That's what I think you have to be very careful of, is making certain that you don't string up the wrong guy. Very interesting. So BJ Nelson says the chamber has a mixer on the 25th at College Creek, and ABC has a happy hour that same night. I don't know how many people we get from the chamber or ABC. So maybe they should
Maybe
refocus.
move their
and come
date.
to
I
us.
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's too many that do that. But if we tried
Yeah.
to schedule our events around everybody else's event, we wouldn't have an event.
Absolutely.
David Glass checking in. Amanda King, good morning. Follow Your Heart on YouTube. Peter McNally. John Kennedy killed by the CIA and the government.
He was. Bobby Kennedy as well.
Killed by a Palestinian.
But was he? I mean, I'm honest. There were multiple shooters in the Bobby Kennedy deal.
MLK killed by a white supremacist.
That's kind of a one-off.
Yeah.
MLK was just killed by
and here's the difference in this, right? Politically, here's the difference. Conservatives, as much as the left tries to say that, oh, you conservatives are racist, the Republican Party and conservatives, at least the ones I know, they've distanced themselves from the racists and the white supremacists. Go be your thing. We want nothing to do with you. But listening to these kids on campus, they do not separate themselves from people who kill because of difference in beliefs and ideologies. They don't separate themselves from the communists, fascists. They embrace it.
It's one of the things that has hurt the conservative movement is that because I'm just straight up, because the Democrats are a godless group, because the Democrats have no true moral foundation or moral compass as a political party. I'm not talking about individuals. As a political party, the Democrats, you don't see the Democrats standing up after a Charlie Kirk assassination and saying, let's all pray about this. It doesn't happen because it would fracture their base. What the Democrats are willing to do is suspend common sense and suspend reality to further the cause of squashing the right. So what I mean by that is a well-meaning old guy like Pete McNally, who just thought John F. Kennedy was nearly godlike, and that human rights and civil rights are everything. And he lived through the 60s, and he's just so proud of what the Democrats did back then in theory to further civil rights. He's willing to turn a blind eye to the lunacy of the LGBTQ. He's willing to turn a blind eye to the abortion clinics that I know he doesn't support. He's willing to turn a blind eye to the indoctrination of our children, to the transgender movement. He's willing to turn a blind eye to keep the herd together. I'm willing to put up with the rabies and the herpes and the hoof and mouth disease as long as all the cows stay together. Whereas the Republicans, the people on the right who are driven by a belief in Christ or a belief in a higher power or a belief in a moral code, they will shun the extremists. And it has hurt the conservative movement. I would rather...
Because they still get labeled as an extremist.
Absolutely. I'm still labeled as an extremist right-wing Republican. I'm a MAGA. Is that a put down? Make America great again? Oh, you suck. Oh, okay. That just shows the hypocrisy of the left. And this is not my opinion. This is observable fact. You can't prove me wrong. Normal, common sense American people like Pete McNally will vote straight ticket Democrat, or if they don't know somebody that's in a race, they'll always pick the leftist. The person who's got his arm around a tranny on one side and a purple-haired homo on the other, and then they'll talk about Jesus Christ in private. Yes, sir, Peter McNally, I do question people's personal beliefs. And I give you credit.
Questioned every day on this show.
I give you credit, Pete McNally, for being maybe pro-choice, probably pro-2A, certainly all about civil rights. And if you try to tell me that you really believe that transgenders ought to be in sports, I'm going to call you a liar, because 15 years ago, you didn't know what a transgender was. So don't lie to me. Don't lie to yourself. Don't do anything Party above country. That's a Democrat. With that said,
as he comes in, I'm going to make one prediction. Whoopi Goldberg will be stunned by the left in a moment because she had the courage to go on and talk about how, and I don't agree with Whoopi.
I don't agree with Whoopi on anything.
Didn't even like her much as an actress. I just
she was pretty good in that.
Ghost.
Yeah, no, the one where she was the nun.
Oh yeah, sister.
Yeah, that was 30 years ago, people. Maybe 35, 40 years
Okay, there were a
ago.
few things she was all right in. Maybe it was the fact she got rid of her eyebrows. It always was ugly.
She was the man in her relationship with Ted Danson. I don't know if you knew that.
But
is he ready?
For her to come in and for her to come out and say, isn't
Escort.
a fundamental part of being an American that we're able to express our opinions to each other without fear, without this kind of horror happening,
Right.
that she was beyond devastated.
Republicans don't shoot Whoopi Goldberg.
No. And, and she, didn't pray, but said our hearts go out to Charlie Kirk and his family.
Yeah, absolutely.
The fact that as a Democrat, she went on the record on The View and stated that she might have just committed career suicide with the Democrats.
Absolutely. We're joined now. We can get him to sashay through the cameras are off, sir. You can stroll straight in, full in, and we can welcome proudly our Congressman Michael Cloud. You got him a microphone? You got
mic'd up. He's got
Hey,
applause is deafening from our live audience. How are you, sir?
Right.
We appreciate you being here. We've
Thank
been a little riled up lately. We're tired of these leftist fools. We're tired of, I think you're going to see a resurgence in our country of, here, you're going to see a resurgence
Nobody
in our
touches the red
country
stapler.
of a strong conservative youth because they, of all, I don't know if you had the chance to listen, but my 17-year-old Caden that you know came in and said, Dad,
Yeah.
can you believe what happened to Charlie Kirk? We've never talked politics. He's never asked me once what does Congressman Cloud think about this? Not ever. Doesn't care. Charlie Kirk resonated with me. My 25-year-old Kyle called me from Houston. Dad, is that unbelievable? Those people shot Charlie Kirk. Did you know Charlie Kirk?
We had done some events together. I'd had the opportunity to meet him. He's just an amazing guy. We needed more Charlie Kirks in this world, not less, for sure.
Absolutely.
Um,
What's on your heart today? What you called us, and we always love it when you call us.
Well,
what's going on, sir?
That's really been the big thing in the last few days, for sure. It's weighed so heavy on my hearts on so many. This week we've been working through appropriate bills in the committee, and one day is 16 hours in a committee, the next day is 10, 12 hours in committee, and probably 80% of the time is the Dems just speechifying, just calling us every vile name in the book, and us just working to get through the bill and get it to the floor. And then this, anyway, it's just, and it's the one guy who would listen, he'd present information. He was doing everything they say you're supposed to do as far as dialogue and being polite and doing it with a heart to serve. And, ultimately for him, it was all about Christ and trying to be an example in the midst of this political dialogue and bring truth and information. And it's just, it's heartbreaking. It's heart-wrenching.
What was your reaction on the House floor when Speaker Johnson called for a moment of silence and the Dems wouldn't honor that?
Well, yeah, he called for a moment of silence. We had a moment of silence. And then Lauren said, hey, could we pray, both for him and for the victims in Colorado at the school and their families. And the Dems were yelling, no.
That's when the no came out. Okay. So
yeah.
somebody clipped that because it made it seem like they were yelling no to the moment of silence.
No,
for
they were
Kirk.
yelling no to the prayer.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
Oh, no.
Then they want to start going down that rabbit hole. Separation of church and state. I mean, you didn't say, can we pray the official Donald Trump prayer?
Well, you look throughout history, though, time after time after time, our leaders prayed. Benjamin Franklin at the Constitutional Convention, they hit an impasse. What are we going to do? We're going to pray. How many times in the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln said, I've oftentimes found myself on my knees in praying for this country.
I actually, Ash, the other day was listening to some excerpts from comments that Charlie Kirk had made, and he talked about, he goes, I dare you to double down and go down and look at the original state constitutions.
Yes.
9 of the 13 states, you had to be a Bible-believing Christian just to hold office in the states. They all mentioned God. They all mentioned, religious affiliation. It was our founding fathers who took those and knew to take it to a different level.
The Capitol building itself was built in stages. So one of the first rooms that was built, or built parts of the building that was built, was it's now Statuary Hall. That used to be the House of Representatives. At the time it was built, it was the largest building in Washington, D.C., and they would have church in the building. Thomas Jefferson attended. He encouraged them to attend. They would go for hours in the House of Representatives. They would meet every Sunday to have church. They would have guest ministers come in. It wasn't one denomination. That was the whole idea. But they would come in and they would listen to the gospel.
DC would spin in if you suggested such a thing
and
today.
we've gone from that to getting booed on the House floor if you ask for prayer.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like and I can't help but shift it to the political side. I feel like the Democrats have absolutely been sunk here in the midterms, because I think you're going to see an uprising and an outrage over what's happened to Charlie Kirk that's going to spur America to vote conservative in the midterms. I think you're going to see an unbelievable resurgence of conservatism in our country.
Yeah, I mean, that may happen. Obviously, I'm not looking at that. I'm looking for, and I was in a meeting yesterday with some other members, and we were talking through how to handle the next few days in this situation, because we're at a time our nation needs to heal as well. But the thing that I was telling them, Scripture tells us to rightly divide the word of truth. It doesn't say to rightly divide the politics. We need to find out what truth is and always stand for truth. And wherever that falls on the political spectrum, that's where we end up. And
Amen.
And you don't seek to offend people, but you realize truth will offend people, and you can't apologize for that. You try to speak truth in love as much as possible, as Charlie Kirk did. But that's what you do, and I do think a whole generation's eyes have been awakened. And it's you can talk about the blood of martyrs throughout history. This is what happened.
But you're in a world where in a world filled with sin, a world where evil exists, I'm not sure that we're ever going to, quote unquote, heal our country.
Well,
I think it's triage. It's constant. They've got a republic if they can keep it.
Listen to the New York Times this morning. I mean, you would think that they would tone down the rhetoric, and they haven't. Here's the latest. From the New York Times. President Trump said on Friday the person was in custody in connection with the fatal. It's funny, they don't mention later that he was on Fox and Friends, but the person who was in custody in connection with the fatal shooting of right-wing activist Charlie Kirk. Those aren't Trump's words. Those are the words of the New York Times writer in this story, or 4 writers that were apparently in this. They won't tone it down. The left will not tone it down.
It's basically been that you reap what you sow. You're all pro Second Amendment, and I believe that from what I've listened, that Charlie Kirk would be the first to say, if I have to go to protect your rights, then I'm proud to do so. He was aware that he was on a battlefield, and it's just exactly the same to me as some families pool all their money. They open a small business. Maybe it thrives, maybe it dies. But if their business goes broke, that's not a condemnation of all capitalism. It's still the American dream. All the other amendments are protected, obviously, by the Second Amendment. And I think it's sad, but it's also fitting that Charlie Kirk, if he had to die, died telling the truth in love, doing what he did, spreading the word. He went from being a guy that would be on a campus and everybody was hating him to a guy that people came to see.
Well, I mean, no doubt his message was attracting a generation and having an effect on the generation.
In the heart of the belly of the dragon
Yes,
that he
exactly.
was trying to slay.
Exactly. He went in there with a smile. He would sit there and take all the insults. He would do everything, and then just respond. Eh, not be not belittling the other people,
That's right.
but trying to have an honest dialogue about it. And I would love to see that message continue. I think in a sense, again, another thing that's been on my mind in the last few days, I can take evil things and make it good. And so, um, this is an obviously evil thing that's been done, but I think, it will spark people to live with a greater conviction. It'll spark people to get more informed. I I don't think you're going to fill the shoes.
And was watching a clip of him on campus talking with a young girl who said, "All you do is interrupt me. All you do is interrupt me." She said, "Okay, make your point." And he didn't say another word. It was about 2 minutes long, and then she never got to her point. You just keep interrupting me. You won't let me finish for 2 minutes after you said, "Go ahead, make your point." I thought it just shows you how closed-minded the left is, and regardless of the reality, they don't believe it.
Linda Chris says Trump reads the country so well. He took the time to actually go on TV this morning and personally tell the country what happened to Charlie Kirk. What other president have we ever had that do such a thing just for the people of this country? I agree. I mean, he's certainly not running for reelection, and I think the president's been consistent. I've been proud of him. What are your thoughts on, or what are you hearing? With DC being taken over by the military and all, what's the feeling you're getting, the vibe in DC these days?
Well, I can tell you, in the months before Trump was elected, there were 10 cities overrunning DC. You would go to Union Station. There's camped out. I had taken a train up actually to go to Bedminster. We had a meeting with President Trump up there, and this is before he was reelected. And we took the train back into Union Station. My chief was out waiting to pick me up. Our train had been delayed, and we just missed a shooting at Union Station. By my chief sitting there in the car saw it all happen. I know of members who've been assaulted throughout. And not because they were members, they were just one of the statistics of the DC crime scene. So the people of DC are like, finally, our streets are safe. Finally, we can walk the sidewalks at night. Finally, and it's sad that, again, because of a crazy Marxist leftist agenda, we've had leaders of these cities embrace these policies at the hurt of the people they claim to serve and care for.
The last time that I was up there, we stayed, I don't remember, I think it's a Westin. Anyway, very nice hotel right inside. I was walking distance to the White House, walking distance to your office, long walk, but straight down the street.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking
walk,
about.
Yeah.
And like the courtesy, the concierge, when you check in, okay, now like after dark, you don't want to go this direction. And I've been here before, but thank you. It's always good to have a reminder. And I thought I was encouraged the other day and was familiar with Joe's when the president went and went to dinner with we joked with Goebbels and Himmler, and it was actually J.D. Vance and Hegseth and who else, Rubio, and but anyway, then they all walked in. There's like a whole mass of people with briefcases and all kinds of things, and the football was there,
right,
and I'm sure a restaurant in DC goes, "Oh goodness, the president's coming." A bunch of people with no money show up trailing the president.
Yeah.
But I feel good that he's bragging about it. Hey, it works. There's no crime here. It's over. The crime's over because criminals are basically they're basically cowards. And at the end of the day, I think you're going to see them go into Chicago. I do. And I think it's going to be, I know ICE has already upped their presence there. I think it's wonderful. And I think it exposes the left even further. Who wouldn't reach out for help when free help is available?
Yeah, and the communities are crying out for it. They want good leadership. Now, why they keep electing these crazy leaders is beyond me. And I think this will be the turning point. I mean, it's kind of like the border. You know, you had an administration telling us, "Oh, nothing can be done. We need new legislation," and then comes in, all we needed was a new president. I mean, he's demonstrating all the talking points that the mayors have. Well, if we just throw more money at it, if we create this community project, if we do whatever, and he comes up and shows, no, you can actually do that. You can,
Amen.
You can improve the crime scene here pretty quick.
Two quick things. BJ Nelson says, ask Congressman Cloud about America Reads the Bible. She said it's a movement we need. What do you know about that? Very briefly, because I'm going to ask you something else.
It's a resolution we've introduced calling for a day of the Bible. September 12th, actually, today, Congress, the Constitutional Congress had passed and authorized the first printing of the Aiken Bible. It was basically the first American Bible as it was thought of then, and it was requested and by Congress approved. They said, we recommend this for the reading of the people and for schools and all those different kind of things. And we're calling for just a day that we set aside to recognize the influence that the Bible has had throughout our history.
It's brilliant. I read that on your website,
time after time.
In your newsletter that I get, I read that.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
So
now, Trey Molina down in Corpus said, ask the congressman about the desal plant. And Corpus is really in trouble from an aqua standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, Texas generally, obviously, we need more water.
Well, we have one natural lake in Texas. The rest are all man-made or engineered.
And we were working with Corpus, and our position in Corpus has been, you know, and this is true of every community. You know, our job as a representative is to work with the people that the people elect. You know, and so we're trying to help these communities whatever way we can. There's an understanding, obviously, throughout the region that we need more water. Corpus has been talking for years about a desal project. The city council just voted not to continue on that project last week, I believe.
How many millions have they wasted on that project already?
So they're going to have to figure out their water situation for sure. We had done some stuff federally to begin to, because right now all the desal dollars go basically to Berkeley and then they get distributed throughout the country. All the federal desal dollars, I should say. The state's doing a lot to try to help foster desal. The governor's really behind this project getting started. Desal's expensive though, no doubt.
Yes, sir.
But it's one of those things that, you know, if we're looking long term, we've got to find another. You know, in the terms of like electricity, we think of base load and intermittent energy. So eventually, you know, we need to come up with some base load supply of water. And if you just think of, you kind of backtrack, we're in a race for AI against China. We've got to win that race. That requires a massive amount of energy. That requires water. You know, I mean, for us to continue to grow, to build,
I saw a stat that like 40% of the electricity generated in Seattle is now going to AI and computer
and
applications.
I forgot to mention, we've been working through the federal and we've got legislation that just passed on the House floor. We got language into the Energy and Water Appropriations Bill, basically to stand up another desal center of excellence along the Gulf of America. So basically, we'd have another channel to get dollars through that doesn't go through California eventually.
It seems like
we're working to build a mechanism
with the Rivera, the southern plant that was down by Baffin Bay. The big issue was where the brine water was going to be discharged. What if, thinking somewhat outside the box, what if the people that were going to do the for-profit plant, obviously it's a business enterprise, they're going to put in the desal plant. What if the feds just helped get the discharge actually to the Gulf instead of into Baffin Bay? It's an expensive proposition to discharge the water via pipeline. It's tens of millions of gallons a day. But it seems like that's a real sensitive ecosystem. And I'm not a tree hugger, but I've been there, and there's no natural water flow. And
Ultimately, I think what tanked the project, I think, and again, I'm not speaking for anyone on the city council. This is just having been in the discussions. And again, this is kind of their project that we're trying to help support.
You're way too smart to be involved in the city council.
No, but I think the economics were more of the issue when it came down to it. Is this going to happen or not? And then even that, there was a plan on the table that they're working with to have water go out, further out. So, but again, this is a lot of startup cost is what it is.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out how to crack that nut.
We only have a couple of minutes left. I want to encourage you and tell you that we pray for you and your family. And I want to encourage all of you to pray for our country. Join Michael in prayer. I don't know many of you how well you know Michael, whether it's personally or just via a newsletter, but he's a friend and a man of great faith. And if you don't mind, just take a moment and just talk to our audience.
Sure. Well, I can tell you, I was on the way in to speak with a group of pastors who had came to visit DC when the news broke about Charlie Kirk. And obviously that affected, I thought I knew what I was going to say to them, and then got up there and Hebrews 11 talks about, in those who go to church know that they'll call it the Hall of Fame of faith. It goes through the scripture, says, by faith, Moses did this, by faith, Abraham did this. Then it gets to the bottom and talks about, and this is not the faith that sometimes we think of very nice, passive people walking around trying to make sure they don't step on people's toes at all. But it goes on, it says, I don't have time to tell about everything that has happened. People built kingdoms, they tore down kingdoms, they routed enemies, they administered justice, they did all these things. And then it went on, and in the context of, the news that had just broke, says others were tortured, they were persecuted, they were, killed but with a sword, and just for standing up for their faith, and I can tell you, if this week's done anything for me, it's just, and I hope for everyone listening out there, it's not a time to be passive.
Amen.
And to put that old view of faith out of your mind. I mean, again, we're not looking to offend, but we're standing for truth, and wherever that lands in the hearts and minds of people, I told them a story of we went to an open house here in Victoria ISD, and we met all the teachers, wonderful people doing their best to serve our kids who attend. And then my wife said, hey, we ready to go? I said, let's just swing by the library and see what's happening, there. I didn't go scan the bookshelves. I'm just like, what's on the end caps? What's the first thing you see when you walked in? Sure enough, all the trans ideology stuff on display. And so I talked to the principal about it, but I'm also thinking like, I'm gone every week, and this is my one time with my family and my kids. Where are the other people standing up in our community?
Amen.
And it's time to stand. It's time for people to get involved and be engaged, or we'll lose this great republic that we inherited.
Well, it's a paraphrase. It's taken out of context. Faith without works is dead. But to me, faith is a call to action.
Yeah.
Faith is not passive.
Right.
Faith is an action verb. It's not just a noun. And I just want to say from Wade and Carter that we're proud to have you in Congress, and we wish you the best.
Yeah, thank you.
And appreciate you stopping by and sharing everything with our viewers and listeners, because I think it's important that they have the access to you. So we appreciate that as well.
Amen. Folks, this is the top of the hour.
Congressman Michael Cloud, our congressman.
Our guy.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it on a little happier note. I found this. I thought this was kind of funny. What does offended mean? It means when people have too much free time on their hands, so they go on Facebook and complain about something completely harmless in an attempt to suck the joy from the rest of us.
That's right.
Kind of sums up being offended, doesn't it?
There you have it. Folks, tune in. Go find Michael Cloud's website at, give him that mic.
Everybody's still got the mic.
Okay. Tell him how to get a hold of your
cloud.house.gov.
So simple because, you know,
Cloud
people are stupid.
House GOV.
Cloud.house, which is where he serves, .gov, which is where you're going to find it. Go get it, folks. Have a great day.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
folks.